Hi everybody, I'm Rafa and I'm a software developer from Mexico. And I would like to share some of my experience building some cool stuff on Web3 and what has been my journey so far as a software developer. So let's start. These days have been a roller coaster of emotions to me, but I try to stay focused on what is certain in the coming months. More exactly, on November 1st, I will be traveling to Asia to attend DevCon in Thailand, and I'm looking to spend some time in that part of the world lately. Because of this, I start developing a little application that I want to share with you guys. It still doesn't have a name, but let me tell you about the problem I'm trying to solve, and maybe we can figure out a name for the app later. As I'm going to travel with some of my best friends, sometimes when a bill comes, it's easier for someone to pay a large part of the bill, and then on another occasion or another place, someone else pays another bill, and we try to balance the debt between each other, but this isn't always fair, and sometimes we forget what we owe to each other. Plus, the step to transfer the money can be a little bit annoying. So what this app tries to solve is tracking expenses and determine how much of the bill each person paid, and then checking out and rebalance the debt amount to another member. Since I'm a big fan of crypto, I'm using a smart contract for the checkout and rebalance part. For the rest, I will be using Python for the backend and React for the frontend. I'm building this as a simple project, very lean and really just to help me in my upcoming travel with my friends who are already onboarded on crypto. But who knows what the outcome of this will be. So I already started with some of it and it's not definitely production ready, but what I did to start was this. First, I used pen and paper to sketch the main idea. I tried to do the full scope of how it will be used, and as I was developing the idea, I was noticing what was needed, like where to store the values and which values to store. By the way, I decided to use Supabase for this, since I'm trying to use only blockchain for the checkout process. This might be controversial, but this could be a full Web2 app without a problem, but doing it like this will be boring. However, I don't want to overcomplicate things by doing everything on Web3, so I decided to create a mix of both. I store some values on Supabase and then pass them to smart contract to handle the transaction. I believe this approach makes it easier and faster to reach an MVP. And later, if it's needed, I can move some of the values to store on the blockchain, but only if it's necessary. Then, to summarize everything, I pass it to an organizer like Notion, but instead of use Notion, I'm trying this app called Anytype, just because it's open source. It's not really difficult to use, and by clicking around, I think I understand it enough to create a template for what I'm building and set up a task board. The task board was an important step. I also use a page to write down some backlog ideas or future implementations that I would like to pursue. And of course, the task board gives me that rewarding feeling of moving tasks from in progress to done. Such a nice feeling. So far, I have the logic on the backend to handle the expenses and user sessions, and I have set up the tables for the database. Now I'm starting with the smart contract. For the smart contract, I'm using Hardhat and TypeScript for the tests. I just implemented the create session function, and that's enough for today. Tomorrow, I will start with a very basic frontend to try Privy to handle the user session. Then when this is ready, I will move on to the next part of this smart contract. I hope this is interesting for you guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to be traveling to my hometown and staying there for a week. Hopefully, I will be able to put in a lot of hours working on this. Thank you for your time and expect some updates on the project soon. Have a nice day.